the bandwagon. You guys are awesome, man.
In today's episode of The Bandwagon, one word to describe Derek Jeter.
Biatch. That's it.
One more time for the people in the back.
Biatch.
Former Wisconsin shooting guard Ben Brust joins the show to discuss his career and the Ball brothers headed to Lithuania.
I mean, it's going to be a complete culture shock. They're going from sunny Southern California to a country that's very dark and cloudy and cold and kind of depressing, to be completely honest, weather-wise. And I just didn't really have a enjoyable experience in the small village that I was in.
And
who is Shrek?
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Let's get to it!
All the day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet. Blow rockin' Robin, 'cause we really gonna rock 'em tonight.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today is Wednesday, December 13th, 2017. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's edition of The Bandwagon. Great show for you today as former Wisconsin Badger and current ESPN Wisconsin and Big Ten Network personality Ben Brust, my favorite Badger basketball player of all time. He's one of them. Joins the show. From a university in the middle of Wisconsin, my name is Alex Strouf. You can find me on Twitter at Alex_Strouf, S-T-R-O-U-F. Joining me as always from the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill Podcast Lab, my right-hand man, my partner in crime, Mr. Victor Hensley. You can find Vic on Twitter at Freezeal, F-R-E-Z-E-A-L 33 for Zeal33 on Twitter, Mr. Victor.
When you spell your name, do you realize that you have OU in it, which stands for Oklahoma University? How does that make you feel?
I'm indifferent. Baker Mayfield's a good guy.
He's all right. He did win the Heisman Trophy. How are you, Alex?
I am doing very, very well. I'm excited about this interview today. I'm a big Ben Brust guy.
You were gushing over Big Ben Brust. I just called him Big Ben Brust.
Ben Brust ball.
There you go. If for those that don't get the reference, you will find out later.
Wow, great preview,
See,
Vic. Well
that's
done.
That's what you call a teaser in the business.
Exactly. So before we dive into it, you can connect with the show using hashtag BandwagonPod on Twitter. And here we are. Victor, my name's Alex. Let's talk sports and stuff and whatnot. So let's start with...
We're starting off smooth.
Exactly. That's what we do. So let's start with sports. We do a segment sometimes. We're going to do it with Ben Brust a little bit later, but we're going to start our show with it. It's a segment called One Word, where we talk a lot of topics really briefly, using one word to describe the topic, and then we dive into it just a little bit. And let's start in the MLB. Giancarlo Stanton was traded to the Yankees from the Marlins. I think I did okay with his first name. Yeah. He was traded like this. Was he not the NL MVP, if I'm not mistaken? Was traded from the Marlins to the Yankees for literally not much. So can we use one word to describe this trade? I guess not this trade, but maybe just Giancarlo Stanton as a whole and now on the Yankees?
Yeah. I was in shock. But my word is not shock. My word is hell. Because Alex, as an Orioles fan, I will, you're supposed to be unbiased as a journalist and whatnot. I don't care about all that.
You're a podcaster.
There you go.
You're okay.
I'm not a journalist. I haven't graduated from a journalism school yet, which therefore does not make me a journalist. I don't have a degree yet, so I'm living them all in a personal hell. Because the only team in the world, I guess the Red Sox would be the other team, but the only team I wouldn't want him to be traded to is New York Yankees. What? I mean, really? This happened? Really? This had to happen? What's your word?
My word is a word that was actually used in an episode title that when we talked about him, he was our main topic. And I used this word to describe him in that episode, so I'm going to use it again. Alien. He's an alien.
Yeah, Alex, I want to throw it back a little bit to the episode you're referring to, I believe. Is that the one where I had the entire, 3-minute, 4-minute speech about how the Marlins should never get rid of him?
Yeah, that's the episode.
Yeah, that was
That's the
funny.
one.
That was really funny. Thanks, Derek
Yeah.
Jeter.
Yeah, that's our next one. So let's just jump. Derek Jeter, a former Yankee, a longtime Yankee, a Yankee Hall of Famer, traded Giancarlo Stanton, the first big move he made, not to mention, to the Yankees. One word to describe Derek Jeter.
Biatch. That's it.
One more time for the people in the back.
Biatch. F Derek Jeter, man. I don't curse. So F Derek Jeter. This is collusion at its finest, Alex.
Hey, you just stole my word. You just stole my word.
Man, your word's collusion.
The people that can't see me, which is everyone besides you, cannot see the league poster behind me. So I'm going to quote my favorite character from that show, Ruxin, and say, collusion! Collusion! Collusion, man!
It's true!
You know what's going to happen? He's going to be with the Marlins for 2 years, and then he's going to go to the Yankees.
He's going to sell his share of the Marlins and then become the GM of the Yankees. You think that's what's going to happen? I could see it.
Yep.
I could see that. Dude, he literally, the thing is, I think it would have been collusion regardless, even if the Yankees would have sent some actual talent back, kind of. But, the Yankees sent nothing back. They sent, 2 mid-level prospects. I don't even know their names. Really? For the NL MVP, Alex?
Yep.
He's a biatch, man. That's unreal. I'm still mad.
Yeah, me too. It's quite collusion. Quite collusion.
And let me just say, really
me.
quickly, you already know next offseason, 2018 offseason is huge. You got Manny Machado, a free agent. Bryce Harper's going to be a free agent. It seems like everyone's a free agent next offseason. Yankees fans are already talking. I saw a tweet the other day that said something like, yeah, it's going to be amazing to see the Yankees 2018 lineup of Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber. And it's just really? You're going to get everyone in the MLB? You got money for that, really?
It might happen.
It's not going to happen. They don't have the money for that. But Yankees fans want to act like, oh, we've got it. We've got it. Everybody wants to come to New York. Nobody wants to come to New York, Yankees fans. Shut up.
So let's jump to the next one. This is the one I didn't tell you about. We're going to throw right in the middle before we jump to football. So let's go to something neither of us know much about. For longtime listeners, we used to do a segment called We Don't Know Hockey, which we do during the playoffs. And since we're in the midst of hockey season, I figured, hey, why don't we just sum up the NHL season in one word? Victor.
I don't know how to sum it up, Alex. I really don't.
Okay, well that's perfect because that'll lead into my word. My word is clueless. I don't have a damn clue as to what's going on in the NHL.
My Rangers were doing badly at the beginning of the season. I think they're doing better now. Maybe.
Maybe.
I just know the Vegas Golden Knights are getting on my nerves, and they're also very good somehow. And they're the first
they're
year
good
expansion
all of a
team.
sudden. Didn't they go 3-0 to start the year?
I think they went more than. I remember at one point they were 7-1.
Wow.
Alex, they're an expansion team. This is their first year as a team.
They're gonna win it all.
Probably. I don't know.
History.
It's not time for me to care about the NHL yet. I'll get
You're
there.
right.
I'll get there.
Connor McDavid is still a god. That's literally all I know about the NHL.
Yeah, he's good. Jack Eichel, is that his name? He's also good.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Somebody else. You could make up a name, and I probably wouldn't know.
Hey, I will tell you that Henrik Lundqvist is still going to be the MVP, just like I said.
You're probably right. Did we make predictions? Yeah, we did. We did. We did.
We made predictions. I think you picked the Penguins as the champions. Maybe? I don't remember.
No, I picked the Oilers.
Oh, the Oilers. Yeah,
I'm all in on Connor McDavid because, like I said, he's a god. But moving from one god to the other, if I made if I made a pinnacle or a pyramid of sports gods, the peak of that pyramid would be my favorite god. Number 12, Aaron Rodgers has been cleared to play. One word to describe the man. The myth. The bad, bad man. Aaron Rodgers back, baby. One word.
My word is feast. Because when somebody says the phrase... Okay. When somebody says the phrase run the table, I think about eating a whole bunch of food on the table. Therefore, you're going to feast. Aaron Rodgers and his Packers are going to feast the last 3 weeks of the season.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I need to get past you. Super Bowl champs, baby. Table is my word.
Everyone, I apologize for the audio quality there.
Oh, me too. I'm not. I'm sorry. My word is table. We're running the table, baby. Go Pack, go.
Do you know how hard it's going to be for y'all to make the playoffs?
Well, we're going to beat the Panthers, and then the Panthers are going to lose to the Saints if they haven't already played them twice.
They have played them twice. They play the Falcons, though.
Oh, they're going to lose to them. So it's okay.
Okay, but listen. But you've got to get past. You've got to have a better record at the end of the season than. There's essentially 4 teams still in it: Atlanta, Seattle, Carolina, and you guys. And then obviously New Orleans.
But the thing is, we hold the tiebreaker. The Packers hold the tiebreaker over Seattle. They beat them earlier this year.
Not over Atlanta, though.
Not over Atlanta, but Atlanta can be the other wild card. And there's no way if the Packers win out, they cannot finish with a worse record than Seattle. And if the Panthers lose 2 games, one of which will have to be to Green Bay this week, they obviously get knocked out due to tiebreaker as well. So the Packers just need the Panthers to lose 2 games in the end.
Which the only issue is, the Panthers do play the Falcons after y'all, at week 17. I don't remember what week they play them. And then they play the Buccaneers. So essentially your only chance is if Atlanta comes through. It's gonna be fun. The NFC's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. So it was a lot of fun. Now not so much fun because the likely MVP Carson Wentz has torn his ACL. He's out for the year.
Man.
The first place Philadelphia Eagles are without their star-studded sophomore quarterback.
Man.
One word.
It's not even a word. The sad face emoji.
Okay.
That's all it is. It's just a sad. Why did this have to happen? How does this have to happen? 2 of the most exciting quarterbacks in the game, Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson, have to tear their ACLs. The Texans would have had a great season. The Eagles were Super Bowl bound potentially. What? What? Why? Why? This is wrong.
I'm depressed, man. It's just really sad to see. My word is devastating. It really is. Not something you want to wish, especially on a young quarterback like Carson Wentz, who came out of nowhere and now it would have probably been the MVP. It's sad, man. It's awful.
It's just like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
I'm mad because the thing is, like, I've always kind of liked the Eagles. If I had to choose a second team, if I had to choose an NFC team to pull for, it'd be the Philadelphia Eagles. Finally, they were looking good. They might actually have brought a Super Bowl to Philly, and this happens.
You're right, man.
All those wonderful Eagles fans. You know, that's the great fan base, Philadelphia sports. They're just so classy there. It's sad.
That was sarcasm, right?
Very, very sarcastic.
Okay, I was going to say,
they're terrible people in Philly. No offense, but I still wanted your football team to win something. But I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, it's awful. It really is sad. What's also sad is the Badgers basketball team this year.
Good transition, because they are sad. They're pretty bad.
Yeah, I think that was the word Ben Brust uses, foreshadowing. So let's just bring him in. Former Badger, Ben Brust, now joining us on the bandwagon. We are joined now by probably the guest I've been the most excited for, just because I watched him play all 4 years that he was at Wisconsin. His name is Ben Brust. He was part of that phenomenal Final Four team a couple of years ago. Great guard, and he hit one of the best shots in Wisconsin history. We'll get into all that. But ladies and gentlemen, Ben Brust joining us today. Ben, thanks for joining us today on the bandwagon.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So before we get into everything that you did, let's get into what you're doing. Talk to us about what you're up to today. I know you're doing the Fundamentally Sound podcast. You're working with the ESPN Madison and the Big Ten Network, doing a whole lot of stuff. So run me down what you're all up to these days.
Yeah, just recently joined full-time with the ESPN Wisconsin team, working primarily out of the ESPN Madison office, in which, helping on the content side as well as I'm doing a little bit of sales. We have a digital partnership with ESPN in which we can do some cool things, selling to ESPN's digital assets. I also do part-time work with the Big Ten Network, in which I drive down to the Chicago studios. Got my foot in the door there and look to see if I can build upon that and maybe get some expanded roles into the future. So I've been driving around quite a bit to Milwaukee, Chicago. Been just driving in a triangle, what it feels like for the last month, and headed down to Cincinnati this weekend to do a live broadcast for the Fundamentally Sound podcast.
Wow.
So been a traveling circus, was down in Indy for the Big Ten Championship football game, and ready for the new year. Yeah, very much so a heartbreaker. I was really invested in this team, and was ready to go around town screaming 13-0, but that didn't happen. But still a great year. Just still down in the dumps, but I'll be all right. We'll get over that and come back strong next year.
Yeah, that was an incredible year, and I was the same way, man. I think I laid on a floor for like 30 minutes after the Badgers dropped that one, so that was depressing. But hey, let's get into another team you were very invested in. Great transition, right? Your 4 years at Madison, man, that was quite a career for you, especially. I mean, those last couple of years where you were on the starting line, the starting guard. I mean, you were the heartbeat of that team for quite a while, and you played with guys like Decker and Kaminsky. So let's just talk as a whole, kind of your Wisconsin career. I mean, obviously it ended in the Final Four in your senior year. So let's just talk your Wisconsin career as a whole. Kind of an awesome ride, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff that you dream about as a kid. It was a rough freshman year. I wouldn't lie to you there. There was some opportunity to play, and I wasn't able to grasp some things defensively to crack not the starting lineup, but crack like a rotation role. But I learned a lot. I got a lot better. I did well on the scout team where, offensively I'd have huge days and coach would reference me in losses in the locker room, but that still wasn't enough for me. I wanted to contribute, which, my role grew as a sophomore, being the sixth man, had some ups and downs there. But then really developed into, a full-time starter for the team my junior year, and had, the memory that stands out, obviously, is the Michigan game. I really do enjoy the where were you when stories, which I'm sure, as you had mentioned off air, that you had one.
Yeah.
And then going into senior year, starting school record, best start in school history at 16-0. To some bumps in the road to finding our way to the Final Four, and really setting the precedent for the team next year to not have to just strive for a Final Four, but to their slogan was make them believe, and they really truly did that in showing where we belong on the national scale.
Yeah, and Alex was talking about that. He's talked to me about that shot multiple times. The guy loves that one shot that you hit. He gushes about that nonstop. But I kind of just want you to take us through that for a minute, because not only did you hit that shot at the end of regulation, but you killed it in overtime. I mean, you had a tie-breaking three-pointer with 40 seconds left, something around there. So you just
very very interested that you brought that up, because I'm actually most proud of the overtime shot, and a lot of people don't even remember it, which is crazy, because what I remember most is hitting the shot. Shot meant something. We beat the number 3 team in the country. Trey Hardaway, Nick Skauskas, Mitch McGarry, Karis LeVert, and I'm blanking on one more. Did I say Glenn Robinson?
No, you didn't. So that's the other one. Yeah.
6 pros on that team, and to beat them and have 2 days off really made for a fun college experience those next couple nights.
So I know where you were, but I want to chime in where I was. I remember I was, probably 13 years old at the time, 14 years old. Not trying to make you feel old, Ben. But,
yeah, goodness, man.
I might have been 15. I don't remember. But anyway, I was at the mall shopping, but I remember it was a really close game, so I stopped in at the sports store in the mall, and they had a big TV with the game on, and Michigan hit that shot with 2.5 seconds left to give them that 3-point lead. And I was like, watch, Brust is gonna do something. You call that timeout, you go down, throw up that prayer, and you nail it. And I always remember the picture where the camera's in front of you, where you're celebrating, your hands out. But the best part of that picture isn't you; it's the people in the background, their faces. You know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Steve Stricker in the crowd. Bo even showed some emotion, which is rare to see. So it's something real if Bo's showing some emotion.
Exactly. So speaking of pictures, I want to touch finally on your on the end of your career there. Obviously, you brought the team to the Final Four You got to cut down the nets, which was probably awesome. And then you had that Kentucky heartbreaker there in the Final Four. But I want to ask you both about that experience going to the Final Four, and then secondly, that picture of you and Sam Decker where you're crying, Sam's crying, his arms around you. Is that the saddest thing you've ever seen?
In the moment, you don't really, it's not even that I was like crying. I mean, I was like teary-eyed. It was more so just like I couldn't believe it because it felt wrong.
Right.
Right.
If something just didn't feel right, and it was crazy to think that my career had ended in a little bit of shock. But yeah, it speaks to the teammate Sam was. I mean, it's just, or even to the friend that Sam is, carrying in that aspect. But taking it back, like you said, cutting the nets against Arizona is, a highlight I'll always remember.
That was a hell of a game too.
Yeah, crazy game, nerve-wracking game. Probably the most nervous I've ever been. And I didn't really get too nervous for any game. Just really wanted to make it to the Final Four, because if you make it to the Final Four, it's almost like you made it, all the way to the championship, which is weird that people remember the 4 teams, not just the champion. And I'm kind of glad about that, to be honest. Yeah, in a crazy game against Kentucky, got to give the kid props. I mean, he hit big shots all tournament long. Doesn't make it stings any less, but he made a play, and I had a view that I thought it was going to miss, and I was going to get the weak side rebound, get fouled, and I was like, we're going to the national championship, we're going to win it. And just like that, it didn't happen. And
right.
Came out of the timeout. Alex Poitras, who hadn't guarded me all game, who's 6'9", was on me, so I was like, oh, well, there goes my shot.
Right, and Trayvon
obviously took that last shot,
which
correct
bounced out, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, and we mentioned this. I'm a Tar Heel through and through. So, I don't have any allegiance to Wisconsin basketball or anything like that. But I love that team that year and the one next year. You guys had Frank Kaminsky, Nigel Hayes, Decker, Koenig. There was so many great players on that team. So there's 2 things we love on this show. It's starting rivalries and confident answers. So I just want to ask you, are you the best player from the 2013-14 Badgers?
I ain't starting no rivalries like that. We all brought some. I'm going to go political on you. We all brought some special to the table, and it really showed in what we were able to do.
That
was a great team.
That's humble. I like it.
Yeah, that's how I roll, my friend.
Man, I'd put that team against any team any day, man. That was such a fun team to watch. But anyway, let's move on. Greg Gard, obviously the head coach now, wasn't your head coach, he was your associate head coach. So I just wanted to get your thoughts quickly on Gard. Obviously, when he was promoted to interim that season, everybody, I should say, he had everyone's full support, it seemed like. So just your thoughts on Coach Gard.
Yeah, Coach Gard's done a really good job. He inherited a tough situation, middle of the year, a team with experience, but really wasn't reaching expectations even with Bo. And they started 1-3 in conference. He turned it around. They won 8 straight and were able to go to a Sweet 16 his first 2 years as a coach. Wisconsin right now has played 8 Ken Pomeroy top 60 teams. The next closest Purdue at 6, and they're the only 2 to have played 5 in the top 60. So for any roster, this would have been a tough stretch, but especially for a roster as young as the Badgers is, and now with injury. So it's gonna be an interesting year. It's an unprecedented territory right now, and it doesn't mean that Coach Gard can't get the job done. It's just kind of the way the cards have fallen, and he's gonna grasp on to his players and teach them and keep getting them better and not give up on the year. There's still plenty of opportunities out there. It doesn't mean anything's over. And even if it doesn't go their way, I think he'll do a good job of staying the course and making sure they get, ready for, I want to say next year, but get better for, everyone moving forward.
Yeah, and there's one thing we love to do on this show. And it's called One Word. It's a segment we do where we kind of give you a topic. And you give one word to describe it. So we just want to do one thing with you really quickly is we want you to give us one word about Wisconsin basketball. But first, I'm going to ask Alex first, so you can have some time to think about Wisconsin basketball this season, how this season's gone. Obviously, they're 4-7. They have losses to Marquette, to Temple. It's not going that great. So Alex, I want you to give us your one word for Wisconsin season thus far.
Yeah, so far, my word would probably be frowning, because I've been doing a lot of that, especially with the injuries recently to both Kobe King and Demetric Trice. I think I'm frowning because I've been spoiled the last, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years with Wisconsin basketball, if not more. And now 4-7 to start the year. I've been doing a lot of frowning. Ben, what about you?
Originally, my one word was unprecedented because that is the truth. But I'm going to go with a similar word. It's really just kind of sad, like sad to think there's doubt that they may not keep the top four in the Big Ten streak alive, even though that's still more than alive because they're 1-1 in conference right now and they have plenty of opportunity to finish in the top four. The Big Ten has been sporadic right now. It's really down. Even Minnesota has really struggled as of late, and I thought they were the second best team. So there's still a lot that can happen there, but and then to potentially maybe lose the streak of I believe it's 20 straight NCAA tournament berths. I mean, you just don't want to see what you're seeing and potentially lose something that you kind of just hope would live on forever.
And I just have to ask, what's going on with the Big Ten? Because, that's one of the historically great basketball conferences, and all of a sudden, it just doesn't seem like anybody has it. Michigan State's obviously wonderful. That team is great. They're, 9-1 right now? But aside from that, nobody's really looking that great thus far. What's going on there?
Yeah, I've talked about this a lot, and I think you got to look a little bit at recruiting. The Big Ten, the last 3 years, I believe, since 2015, have only eight like top 50 recruits that have come into the conference, or maybe it's 5-star. I'll have to fact check myself on that, but really it just speaks to the talent going elsewhere in terms of the NBA potential prospects are going different conferences, and it's been the recruiting. They're not getting as high of recruits right now. And that's necessarily not necessarily a bad thing for schools like Wisconsin, who hasn't really gotten those type of recruits, and Purdue, who hasn't really gotten those type of recruits. But for the blue blood programs, Indiana was able to get some in Blackman, and I believe Vonleh was a 5-star. But they got to recruit better because traditionally these coaches are really good at developing players. Just getting that next level player and continuing to develop them the way they have in the past. The Big Ten would back. I'm not too worried about it. Usually find their way, but also haven't really won a national championship since Michigan State in 2000, I believe. So there's a lot there in which there's been a lot of good teams, but haven't necessarily able to get the job done all the way, and I think that hurts everyone's perspective on the grand scale.
Right, and last thing on Big Ten basketball here, Ben, is I saw Josh Gosser tweeted a couple days ago when the Badgers lost to Marquette that this is the first time since he graduated he wanted to get back on the floor. So I wanted to know if you kind of felt the same way. The Badgers don't lose to Marquette, it seems like, at least as of pretty recently. This was a kind of rare territory where they got blown out by Marquette. So did you kind of feel like, hey, I really wish I was out there popping half-court threes like I used to?
It's not even about. The sad part is how much I've changed as a player. It's not even about the popping the half court threes. It's actually defending and shutting down Marcus Howard and Andrew Rousey. I'm with Josh. Put me on Rousey, put him on Howard. We would stop them, no doubt in my mind.
Elite defenders, elite. And my next question is, Ben, the 3-on-3 college basketball tournament thing for seniors that's coming up for the first time at the end of this season. You're on the selection committee for that. So just tell me about that. Tell me about how awesome of an opportunity it is. You get to work with, who is it? Andy Katz, I believe, is the head guy with that, and a whole bunch of other awesome college basketball experts. You're on the committee, or the selection committee, for that 3-on-3 college basketball tournament.
Yeah, great experience. Actually friends with a couple of the people who put the idea together at the company Intersport. And it's taken a lot of work, actually. Got to research a lot about these mid-major conferences, as you don't necessarily know all the players, and have kind of, tracked their stats throughout the year. So when I put together my next ballot, I'm pretty educated and try and watch as much as I can. So it's been a good opportunity to make an impact on some deserving seniors who should have a chance to play for some money after the season.
Yeah, and one of the things this is going to be one of my final questions is, aside from Big Ten basketball, we've got some stirring up happening, some stirrings happening. I don't know what that word is.
Stirrings, I
But
like that.
so with the big baller brand, with the Ball brothers, they're going to LaMelo and LiAngelo going to Lithuania to play some basketball to go pro. And obviously you played in Lithuania. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the team that you played for because I don't speak that language. But, my question is, how do you feel like they're going to, fare in Lithuania? I mean, how are your experiences kind of like, how do they shape your opinion of how they're going to do?
I mean, it's going to be a complete culture shock. They're going from sunny Southern California to a country that's very dark and cloudy and cold and kind of depressing, to be completely honest, weather-wise. And I just didn't really have a enjoyable experience in the small village that I was in. And they're going to a small village of 10,000 people. I don't root against them. They're just kids trying to find their way in this world and kind of have these cards in front of them, and they got to play with them. And it's going to be tough. These are professional grown men, and this is a 16 and 19-year-old boy who I'd be interesting to see how they fare against the competition because I don't think it makes a lot of sense for them right now.
Yeah, and you described it in your tweet, if I'm not mistaken, as a disaster waiting to happen, and I don't disagree with you. I kind of banned us from talking about the guy I'm about to mention, but LeVar Ball, how do you think he's going to – I don't know if he'll be out there very much, but given kind of the basketball culture that you mentioned out there, you think LeVar Ball is going to, stand a chance, if you will, out there?
I'd be interested, to see how it goes. The head coach doesn't speak English. LeVar Ball likes to talk to the Chino Hills head coach and tell him what to do, and he didn't like it, so he pulled his kids out of school. This is a professional contract now. Like you're playing for a team. You don't just get to unless he's putting a big bill down for the team and sponsoring them. I can't imagine they would listen to much of his influence. So I'll be interested to see how everything pans out.
So, Ben, we appreciate you being so gracious with your time. This is my last question for you. Kind of a fun one. So let's change your last name to Ball. You're now Ben Ball. I want you to rank yourself. What's that? LaBen Ball, yeah. Yeah, okay, that's better. I like that. So, LaBen Ball, I want you to rank yourself among your brothers from 1 to 4.
Against the brothers?
Yeah, so like if you had a one-on-one tournament, where would you place?
Is this in my prime? Because,
Yes.
If it was in my prime, I would just put myself 1, obviously. But right now, I would need quite some time to do some training. But 1 in my prime because, that's how I thought and will always think.
LaBen Ball. Where Lonzo second, I assume?
Yeah, Lonzo's second. And I even put LiAngelo third because LaMelo's just 3 years younger.
Right.
But I think LaMelo has a good opportunity to be a pretty good player.
When's the last time you hit the court?
This morning at 6 a.m. I was terrible. Didn't wake up until halfway through.
Fair enough. Well, Ben, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. You can go check out the Fundamentally Sound podcast on iTunes with Riggs from Barstool, correct? Is your co-host on that?
Correct.
So it's a good listen. I listened to the latest episode this morning. Great podcast on iTunes. Ben Brust, former Wisconsin Badger, joining us today on the bandwagon. Thanks again, Ben.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks again to Ben Brust for joining us on today's episode of the bandwagon. Always great to talk to fellow Wisconsinites, even though he's not really a Wisconsinite, but kind of a Wisconsinite. He lives here now, so it counts. Why are you dancing?
I'm having a good time, Alex.
I'm happy to hear that.
Ben was fun. I like Ben. He's a good guy.
I like Ben.
He
Ben
can
is a
shoot the
good guy.
3-ball. He can throw up some half-court shots. He can cry very photogenically.
Yes.
He can do it all.
He can do it all indeed. However, you said you're having a good time, but you're deep down angry, aren't you?
I'm a tad bit angry, Alex.
You see that box over there?
Yeah, hold on. I'll go.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I think does it say Dove on the side?
Yes, actually it does.
It's a soapbox. Let's do this.
As you guys have heard, okay. As you guys have heard, baseball's not been my fave on this show. I'm not having a good time in the baseball world. I'm a devout Baltimore Oriole. I bleed orange and a lot of other colors. I'm like like a rainbow inside, black and orange.
Maybe like
I ooze tar.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's been a lot of rumblings in the baseball world. I'm using good words today.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, no, there's a lot of rumblings in the baseball world about a certain Manny Machado, the best third baseman in the game by far.
Opinion.
Nope, not opinion. He's the best third baseman in the game. He's the man. He is the best player on the Baltimore Orioles, and it seems as if we're thinking about trading him. Now, I'm not happy about this. There's a lot of Orioles fans out there that talk about trading Manny Machado and say things like, you know what? Well, the Orioles have to get pitching. You know, their pitchers suck. They need to get people in their farm system because, you know, the team has just depleted their farm system. I could agree with all that. Like, yeah, they need pitching. Yeah, they need some young guys. Alex is eating a Rice Krispie treat right now. Yeah, all that may be true. But Manny Machado is a god on the baseball field. He has entered every single Orioles fan's heart. Everyone loves him. He's the man, and he must never leave.
He's the man, Machado.
If I had $1 for every time I tweeted that after he hit like a big home run or something, you would owe me a lot of money. So random. That's really random. Anyway, the point is I'm mad because I don't know why we're trading or even thinking about trading Manny Machado. You got the Yankees over here who sit there and say, you know what? We're going to say we're interested in Manny, which, by the way, every team is. But the Yankees are apparently interested in him. If Dan Duquette, the GM of the Baltimore Orioles, decides to trade Manny Machado, the best third baseman in the game, to the New York Yankees, I quit. I'm never watching baseball again. Not even when I'm 80 years old and all these players are dead. Hopefully they're not all dead. But I just can't watch baseball at that point because at this point, Alex,
yes,
we talk about parity in the MLB. That's our big thing. We've talked about that for since we've started the show. We love parity in the MLB. If the Yankees get Manny Machado, even if it's just for this year, he may sign again next year. There's not going to be any parity. There's not going to be any parity in the MLB. That's going to ruin the league. So you know what? I don't want that to happen. I don't want the league to be ruined. I don't want the sport to be ruined. And please, for the love of God, Dan Duquette, do not ruin the Orioles' hearts. Do not break the fan base's hearts. I'm stepping down. We love you, Manny. So just like Giancarlo Stanton, he's probably going to get traded. So when I said that the Marlins shouldn't have traded, when I said the Marlins should never trade Giancarlo Stanton, he got traded. It's going to happen with Manny now. So
I'm sorry.
I'm not very good luck.
Yeah, you're not. You like to jinx things. Knock on wood, my friend. I was gonna yell about things. I was gonna get angry, step up on the dove box, but I just ate a really good Rice Krispie treat and it made me happy. So I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Okay, I respect that.
So how unprofessional is it to eat during a podcast?
I'm gonna go with very, but
okay.
You know what? It's okay. It's good.
All right. I hope I wasn't too loud, because I do like to snap, crackle, and pop. Hey-oh. But you know what else I've noticed? I've come away with something else. We call a lot of people gods on the show.
We do, but it's always like it's they're worthy of the title, I think.
Yeah, I think so. One of my professors noted that I called Juju Smith-Schuster a god in our last episode. How do you feel about that?
I don't like that. I'm not a big Juju Smith-Schuster guy.
Other than when he nails the dirty player whose name I can't say right. Vontez Perfect.
I think it's just Vontez. It's spelled Vontez, but I think it's Vontez.
Okay.
Point being, I think if we declare you a god, you're a god.
Okay.
I think it should be like the British knighting process. If the bandwagon says you're this, they deserve a prize.
So real quick, this is our next segment where we get to British knighting or whatever you said. Kind of the same stuff here. We're bowing down.
We are bowing
and
down.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I hit it twice on purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, my favorite player, Aaron Rodgers, is back. And maybe another one of my favorite players is going to be coming back because the one, the only Chad Ochocinco Johnson has tweeted at Aaron Rodgers last night after he announced he was cleared to play. And he said, "I'm open. meaning Chad Ochocinco Johnson wants back in, and he wants to play in the green and gold. Ladies and gentlemen, I am bowing down to who is the Twitter god, the FIFA god, Chad Ochocinco Johnson. Bowing down. Your turn.
If Chad Ochocinco joins the Green Bay Packers, that's just as unfair as Giancarlo Stanton and Manny Machado joining the Yankees.
I don't know about that. I think you're wrong.
I don't know.
That's fine.
Super Bowl bound Packers. I'm on the bandwagon, baby.
Yeah, you are.
Go Pack, go. All right.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, baby. Woo. Yeah, you remember that.
I remember that. Yeah. All right. So I'm not bowing down to a human per se.
Oh.
I'm bowing down to pretty much it's godlike. It runs everyone's lives. If we didn't have it, we would all die. I'm bowing down to Wikipedia.
Ooh.
Before the show, Alex and I were just joking around, just having a good old time like we normally do, preparing, getting ready.
Yes.
And I decided for whatever reason, I'm probably going to butcher his name. He's been a great closer in the MLB for a long time. I've had a lot of baseball talk tonight. I apologize for anyone that doesn't care about the sport. But Koji Uehara, the longtime closer of the Boston Red Sox, now playing for the Chicago Cubs, who used to play for the Baltimore Orioles, actually. And that is important because I decided to Google Koji Uehara. I was like, you know what? I just want to see what he's up to now. I couldn't remember if his deal ran out with the Chicago Cubs. I couldn't remember. So I decided to Google him, and up pulls his Wikipedia page. And I look at it, and I see that it says pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. And I said, what? So I looked at his thing. I clicked on his page, and I just see the orange and the black for Koji Uehara. And it says Baltimore Orioles, pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. And I look at Alex, and I'm just like, what's going on here, bud? I don't understand. Throughout this entire show, I've been shaken by this whole thing because I don't understand why Koji Uehara's Wikipedia says he plays for the Orioles. It says he's played for the Orioles from 2018 to present, or has 2018 dash. So I'm shaken up. I'm pretty sure we're breaking the news right now that Koji Uehara is going to sign with the Orioles. And for that, I'm going to bow down to Wikipedia for giving us the opportunity to break a story. You heard it here first. Koji Uehara is going to be an Oriole in 2018. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very important announcement. Victor is shooketh.
I have been shaken.
Shooketh.
Shooketh to the core.
Shooketh to the core. And now it is time for my favorite segment. I think it's my favorite, I think. It's your favorite. Please introduce it.
Oh, it's my favorite. So for all those new listeners out there, this is a segment we like to call You Ask, We Answer. We understand a lot of people out there have questions, and we like to think of ourselves as superior intellectual human beings.
Yeah, that's us.
That's us. So we go on to the epitome of knowledge, which is Yahoo Answers, a.k.a. Yahoo Answers, where people ask the best questions. And you know what? We decided we take the 8 to 10 best questions.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you say you were superior when it comes to intellectual ability, and then you said we go to Yahoo Answers, aka Yahoo Answers?
No.
That is word for word what you just said.
Yes, it was an error in the mind. I meant to say the epitome of knowledge, aka Yahoo Answers, but I said it twice. I said Yahoo Answers twice. It's a speech impediment, Alex. That's what it is. Anyway, so I've got some questions.
All right.
You ready? You ready to hear some of the questions? They're pretty good this week.
Let's do it.
Here is You Ask, We Answer.
Love it.
Britney Spears is a drug addict?
Oh boy.
I mean, everyone in TV is drug addicts.
That's it?
That's it. That's all. That's the question.
That's not a question.
No, there's a question. There's 2 question marks.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Let me say it differently. Britney Spears a drug addict? I mean, everyone in TV is drug addicts.
Well, okay. Hold on a minute. So, Zoe 101, Jamie Lynn Spears, I think is her name.
Yes.
She got into drugs, didn't she? And then they canceled
no,
Zoe 101.
no,
She got pregnant.
She got pregnant, which is different than drugs.
She got boinked up, but then I think she became a drug addict. There's drugs in that family.
Which it may be. I'm actually a big fan of Jamie Lynn Spears, so don't hate on my girl.
I was a big Victoria Justice fan in that show. I think she
Okay.
played a goth. I don't remember.
No, she did only one episode, but she was just playing around. It was just a joke. That was a good show. That's the GOAT show, I think.
Yeah, it's one of them.
So
I think.
don't know if we answered your question, but I think Britney Spears might be a drug addict, and I think everyone on television is also drug addicts.
Wow.
Probably.
Incredible.
Yes. Yeah, meth is popular nowadays.
Great.
Next up, how do you respond to someone who says, "I don't like you"?
Well, I don't like you either, Matthew.
Yeah. You know what? You just call him a biatch and move on. Essentially, that's all
What
you
do
do.
What do you call him?
A biatch, and then move on. Just
I like
that.
it.
Yeah, of course. This is a good one.
Here we go.
Who is Shrek?
You want to answer this one first?
I do. Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. I fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Did it make sense not to live for fun? Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. There's so much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't know. You'll never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star. Put your game on. Go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on and get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold. That's my answer.
That was a long and great answer.
Thank
but
you.
But no, my reference. Have you ever seen Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life?
And when I saw her face,
Did you ever see that?
I'm a believer. No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's a YouTube video. It's very creepy. I would not recommend it.
Oh, actually, I think I have seen that. Yeah,
It's
it gave me
very-
nightmares.
It's very disturbing.
Yes, you're right. I have seen that. Yeah.
So that is the answer. That's what Shrek is. All right. Let's move on. This is a good one. This is probably my favorite from this week. I'm 12. How old are you? I'm not really 12.
Wait, what?
That was it.
Hold on. So I'm 12.
Just
How old are
repeat
you?
it?
Yeah.
I'll repeat it. I'm 12. How old are you? I'm not really 12.
Why the
That's
pause? Why the pause?
Because it's not. The title is "I'm 12. How old are you?" Then, like in the description, it says "I'm not really 12."
Okay.
So,
All right.
I don't know what the goal of this person was.
So this is what I'm getting out of this. So maybe you have to be 13 to sign up for Yahoo Answers,
Oh.
and he or she or they pronouns is not trying to get caught and get suspended. My Facebook got suspended when I was 12. Fun fact. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because I said the F word. But anyway, I was a distraught child. But that's my theory. They just want to know how old people on Yahoo Answers are, but they're not really 12. But they are 12. They are really 12.
That's a good theory. I'm thinking it's kind of like a bench warmer situation.
Oh.
You remember that movie?
Yes.
Like the 27-year-old baseball player had that birth certificate that said "I am 12."
I am 12. Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things ever. I think it's one of those types of situations
Yeah.
where it's like, you know what, I'm 12, but then it's like he just wanted everybody to know, I'm not really 12.
Okay.
It might be like a catfish pedophile type situation. So watch out, everybody. Stay woke.
Stay woke.
Next up. Is it weird that I'm 39 and cry when Cena loses? John Cena, that is.
Oh, I should go get my hat. I'm a big John Cena guy. So I feel like
You can't see me.
this serves. They really can't. They can only hear us. This serves as a
That's
good.
true.
Yeah. This serves as a good thing to talk about sports moments that made us cry, or maybe like movie moments, maybe things that aren't real, because John Cena doesn't actually lose. It's scripted. So I guess I'll go first if you want to think of it. But as I've mentioned many times in this show, I'm a big wrestling fan. So I was what? Probably 9, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. It was the day Ric Flair was forced to retire at WrestleMania when he lost to Shawn Michaels. I bawled my eyes out. And I remember crying because Shawn Michaels said, "I'm sorry," sweet chin music, Ric Flair, and then pinned him for a 3 count. And then I remember crying, and then I said, why are all the legends retiring? Because it was like a month after Brett Favre retired for the first time. And that was the worst day in my life. So that was probably what comes to mind when I read that. But he's 39. He needs to get help.
I think at 39 years old, I mean, I guess if you're really a fan of someone, even if it's a fake sporting event, I guess it's okay to cry. I guess I'll share mine. The 2012 AFC Championship game, that killed me. Ravens-Patriots.
Oh, yeah. We talked to Bernard Pollard about that.
Lee Evans dropped the pass, yeah. Billy Cundiff shanked the 30-yard field goal to send it to overtime. Yeah, I cried. I sat in a dark room by myself for 35 minutes and just sat there. So, yeah, we talked to Bernard Pollard about that a little bit. He probably cried too, though.
Yeah, that was a rough game. I guess I've cried a couple times because of the Packers. I think the last time I cried was, what was that, 2012 wild card game against the Arizona Cardinals. It was like a 44 to 52 game in overtime, and I don't remember. It was just a shootout, and we ended up losing. I think I bawled I was young, but it was a great game. Anyway, next song.
Is it acceptable to cry at sporting events when you pass 18? Is it acceptable?
Probably not. But I don't know. I don't make those rules.
Yeah, you shouldn't, because I think, it's sweet.
No, you're right.
Yeah. Next up. This is a good one. This is sports related again.
Yep.
Does Matt Patricia think he's cool or something? By the way, Matt Patricia is the defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots. It always annoys me when they show him on the sidelines. I'm 43 years old, but so cool with my backwards cap and pew beard.
Pew beard.
Just looks like a huge douche.
Yeah, you're right. He does look like a huge douche. Him and Rob Yankovic were probably best friends, right?
They look the same, kind of, don't they?
Oh my gosh, there it is. I said it a few weeks ago. We've never sneezed during this podcast, and there it was.
I still haven't. My streak is still out. I'm like Cal Ripken.
Wow. That was incredible.
I'm Iron Man, baby.
You are Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
R.I.P.
There it is. Man, excuse me, by the way.
Whew.
Wow.
Oh, that was fun. Sorry, Matt Patricia. We didn't mean to dog you on the show. You're still all right at your job, even though the Patriots looked horrible against the Dolphins.
Yeah, they did.
Anyway.
This is true. So maybe he's not so great. Yeah. Hot seat? Is he on the hot seat?
Is he on the hot seat? I think he's been on the hot seat. No, actually, he's not on the hot seat because he's always been up there for a head coaching position. But now, since his defense is mediocre, everybody's like, probably not going to hire him.
Malcolm Butler kind of saved him, I think. So
Malcolm Butler, where's he been?
He's in New Orleans. I don't know what he's up to, but he's in New Orleans, I think.
I hope he's having a good life.
I hope so too.
Next up, what is the song of the day?
Ooh. What is?
I think you've got one, don't you?
They counted us out, now we lead the division again. At the top of the round, 17 and Jody with the head. AI-12 split the divas, you know that we winning again. AI-12 split the divas, you know that we
winning again.
They don't want to see the squad.
Nah.
They just watch us beat the line. They don't want to see us lift the number 52 and hit you from the side.
The song of the day is "Run the Table" by the Wisco Kids. What's the song of the day?
I like it. See, I would agree, except I think I've got a better one.
Oh boy. Woo! Boo-doo! Hold on, pause it. Rewind it. What does he say right there? Is it apple juice? What do you think he says?
Okay, hold on.
Apple juice.
That sounded like apple juice.
Yeah.
Apple juice.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded
Yeah.
like. What did you say?
I
Do you
don't
know?
know. I've never looked it up.
Apple juice. What else could it be?
Abudu. I don't know.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
Though? Wow.
So,
I think I'm going to devote my life to figuring out the lyrics of this
I mean,
song.
you could probably look it up, but we're not going to do that.
Well, we don't care. We don't care that much.
Before we jump to the last question, I want to talk to you guys about Podbean. Podbean is the fantastic podcast hosting service. If you are looking to start a podcast, I mean, it's super easy. Victor and I did it. Here we are. If you are looking to start a podcast, you can do it with Podbean 1 month completely free by going to podbean.com/bandwagon, podbean.com/BANDWAGON. For 1 month of hosting completely free. You can upload any size audio file, post it to iTunes, TuneIn, anywhere you post your podcast, Spreaker, anywhere else you get them. You can do that through Podbean. You get 1 month completely free of podcast hosting on Podbean. Podbean.com/bandwagon. To the last question.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The last question. This will be very relevant to this show. It's perfect that we found it. My garbage men gave me a Christmas present. What should I give them as a thank you?
So I believe it was a Christmas card, is what I think I read.
It was present.
Okay, my bad. I read it wrong then.
It's all right.
So it's a present. So now we have to give them a present back, I assume. So I read answers. Give them your garbage. So how does one go about getting a relationship with your garbage men to the point where, like, you know, they're giving you Christmas presents or cards or both?
I'm gonna say you show them love, kind of like we have. You leave them cookies, milk and cookies.
I think that's Santa, but yeah.
Sometimes. Well, same
So,
thing. They're as magical as
hold
Santa.
on,
Garbage men are magical.
Wait a minute. So are you saying that all garbage men are fat bearded men?
Are fat bearded men? No. But I am saying that they are all mythical. They're all magical. They're all wonderful.
Wait, so you're saying
human
garbage
beings.
men aren't real? You said they're mythical.
No, garbage men are majestic.
Oh, okay.
As well. They are also mythical. The thing about garbage men is you don't usually see them very often.
Oh,
you know,
probably because you're at work. Yeah.
Either you're sleeping, because they come sometimes really early in the morning, or you're out at work. You're not looking out the window to see if the garbage man's here. So you know what? Are they real? I don't know.
Ooh.
Are they just fairies?
Ooh, just like the
tooth fairy type stuff.
Easter bunny.
Yeah, just like Easter. Easter bunny. The point is, what should you give them as a thank you? Everything. You give them
your house and you take over as the garbage man. That's your duty.
I think after a certain period of time, they kind of just like move up into like retirement. But like, I don't know. It's like if you spend 5 years devoting your life as garbage man, you should be able to pick the house you want to live in, and just whoever's in there has to move.
Oh,
out,
I like that.
and you get all
That's
their
good.
belongings. Yeah, it's like a role reversal
that.
type of thing.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Also, we have an update on what it says in John Cena's theme song.
Oh boy.
It says it's a sample from a song called "Ante Up" by M.O.P. It says, "Amado."
Amadou. Amadou.
AMADOU. And here's what Genius says. This oft misheard lyric is a reference to the 1999 shooting of an unarmed Guinean immigrant, Amadou Diallo, in the Bronx.
So it's deep.
He was shot by NYPD police
So
officers.
you just went from that being really happy because we thought it said apple juice, and then you brought it to a 1999 NYPD shooting. Yeah, you ruined that entire song for me. Awesome. Let's jump on some bandwagons.
Okay, stay woke. That's all I'm saying. Stay woke.
Let's jump on some bandwagons.
Who's starting?
Rock, paper, scissors. We're going on shoot.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. We both had scissors. We're going to be here a while.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, you win. Good job. So who's going first?
Oh, nice.
All right,
You
I'll
go
go
first.
first. I'm jumping on the bandwagon of V2. Vine is back, baby. Woo. I'm done.
What is V2?
Yeah, so
I don't
the
understand.
creator of Vine sold it to Twitter, and now Vine's dead, so he's recreating Vine with like the same font, but it's just called V2 because he can't call it Vine. So I assume it's the same thing. I don't really know how that works, but yeah.
So you're telling me he sold Vine and made a bunch of money, and now he's just recreating Vine, so probably he can sell it again?
I'm not exactly sure what the goal is here, but he's got to be rich, so I mean he's probably in good shape.
Oh, he's very wealthy. I hate Vine. I was so glad when Vine got murdered. Wow.
Don't know
I'm
if we
so
could be
sorry.
friends.
It's kind of like Romeo and Juliet. I was really glad when they died at the end. It was the same thing with Vine. Like, for me, Vine was like, it was like a journey it was like kind of like The Hobbit, where it was like, it was kind of fun, and there were some exciting times, but like for the most part, this just sucks. And you're just kind of waiting for the end. That's how it was with Vine.
You hurt my feelings.
So now
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
I'm kind of upset that it's back.
Can we just relive one of my favorite Vines ever?
Of course we can.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
If you've never seen that, you have no idea what's so funny about it.
And that right there is why Vine should stay dead. There you go. That's why we should keep it in the casket. My bandwagon is paying to live.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. Very exciting stuff. Because if there's anyone that knows how to live and how to keep people living longer, because this man will probably live till the end of time, it's Tom Brady, right? I mean, Tom Brady knows how to live. And we should all, if we want to be Tom Brady and live as long as Tom Brady, we should follow his steps. Well, Alex, now you can. You can follow Tom Brady's life health tips for just $199 a year. You can learn about things such as recovery sleepwear, how useless brain games can make you smarter, how drinking lots of water can prevent sunburns.
What?
And something about 72 trace minerals that you lose when you're sweating. I don't know what any of that means. But Alex, I think at this point, if we want to live long, if we want long, happy lives, we've got to start paying. We got to fork over $200 a year to live. Because I need to know this. I need to learn this from Tom Brady. He is apparently selling some like TB12 method or something. I don't know what it's a mobile app, actually. That's what it is. It'll teach you all these
Incredible.
things. So, yeah, so if you want to, live long and not die soon, then here you go. Tom Brady is here for you for only hundreds of dollars.
Incredible.
As if he needs any more money.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm jumping on the bandwagon of paying to live.
So are you gonna buy the thing for $200 a year?
Already bought.
You're lying. Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, you're gonna be laughing when you're dead, and I'm not.
Ooh,
So-
deep. That was dark.
Or when you have a lot of sunburns, but I drink so much water that I don't get sunburn. You're gonna be laughing. Or you're probably not gonna be laughing because you'll.
I drink water. I drink a lot of water. And I still get sunburnt. So
I actually don't.
I drink
that
a
much
lot.
Water.
I've gone through 3
And
bottles this show. So
That's sad. Actually, that's kind
I
of.
drink
scary.
a lot of water.
That's a lot. You're gonna drown. You're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna drown. Okay, whoa, hold on. You just took a sip of something. I just want everybody to. I want everybody to understand. He said he likes water.
Hey Vic. Hey Vic.
He drinks a lot of water. And he's drinking Dasani sugar drops in your water. So you're not drinking water. You're drinking Kool-Aid,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first
you
2
don't like
bottles were
water.
clear, but yeah.
So this guy is he's a fraud.
I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud water drinker. I'm a fraud H2O lover. You're right.
Who puts drops in their water?
I never did until like 3 days ago, and you know what? I like it. So I'm not gonna take your hate, and I'm gonna sign off.
Do whatever you want, man. I'm not judging. I'm just.
Well, thank you again to Ben Brust for joining us today on the show. You can find him on Twitter at Ben Brust, or you can find him on the Fundamentally Sound podcast with Riggs from Barstool Sports on iTunes. That comes out. I don't think they have a set date, just like us. So the solid podcast, like I said in the interview. I listened to an episode, and now I listened to another one. I'm loving it. So good stuff. Thanks again to Ben. Victor, anything you want to say?
Please don't trade Manny Machado. That's all I got, man. If they trade Manny Machado, I'm done. I'm gone. We're never doing another show because I'm going to be in the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, at least I'll know where to find you. You can find Vic on Twitter at Freezeal, Frezeal33, Freezeal33 on Twitter. You can connect with the show using hashtag BandwagonPod on Twitter, and you can find me on Twitter at Alex_Strouf, STROUF. My name is Alex. His name is Victor. The guy's name was Ben, the guy. That is all. Now, Victor, take us away with Stone.